Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here from YouTube. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Internet Computer ICP. So let's get into this. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you haven't already, follow me at Real6Fig on Twitter. This is where I drop all my updates, ICP Definity related. I picked up an IC Punk today, number 7974. I paid 18.5 ICP for it. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. It was around the ground floor. It had some increased rarity, stuff like that. But I also did drop a really in-depth video on Origin Foundation, which is building out on Internet Computer, some of the connections to Paris Hilton and Polychain Capital that will get you excited about the project. So let's get right down to it. ICP is trading at $19.06 or somewhere in there. We can see that right now ICP has this tremendous, very tremendous possibility of maybe really throwing up some sort of inverse head and shoulders or something like that in due time. I think that this fall might be a wonderful setup for ICP. Maybe this early summer, somewhere in there, we might see this right development of this right shoulder and in between this head. So we'll see this neckline develop quite possibly. And then I do think that we might be seeing ICP off to the races. And why do I think this? The number one reason here, folks, is we've got this incredible trend line. And then if we go ahead and connect the dots, we have something that's called a falling wedge. Now, falling wedges are extremely bullish patterns to be seen, especially when we are looking at multi-year patterns. So this is a great thing to be seen in the market. So with that said, we need to kind of look at where we might see some of these price tags really come up to. So if we go ahead and just throw up a little fib extension, it wouldn't surprise me to see this thing in time maybe come back up to the 786, around the $73-ish level. And this might be the point where we end up forming this right shoulder. We might see something like this occur. And if that does happen, folks, it's off to the races. So, right now on the daily chart, we can see how ICP is just really bouncing off this upper trend line within this falling wedge. So we are pressing on the 50 moving average, big bearish engulfing candles to the downside. There's really no wicks on the upside of the candles, which is telling us that the bulls are not having any control whatsoever. Now, the last few videos I've been talking about how I don't want ICP to go any lower than $19.64 because this is the shelf that lies a potential bullish breakout. If we can get price action up into this region, set up for some sort of ascending triangle or something like that, I do think that price action will go on a major breakout. And there might be one of these things that we are seeing that goes something like this. So this is still possible. It can still possibly happen where we just see price action come in and bounce around and then take off. So over the next few days, it's going to be interesting to really see what happens. If I had to predict, I think that we'll see price trade anywhere from 1843 up to possibly 2190-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. But for now, it's looking good. As long as we really don't break this bottom trend line, that's really all I care about. So let's just take a quick peek at this thing on a hourly chart. Yeah. So we can see that ICP is forming some sort of bear flag. And we know this because we have some sort of rectangular square-ish box forming off this nasty little price shred that happened. So it does look like this was a full-blown ABCDE corrective wave. Price action got too far away from the Ichimoku cloud, and we continue to drift. So it wouldn't really, it really wouldn't surprise me if we saw price action maybe kind of meet this 50 moving average and take another leg down to really hit on a ABC corrective wave to the downside. So if I had to place my bets, and you see ICP trading below $18.50 or lower, there might be a good chance that we are going for a ride. So let's get rid of all this and maybe try to predict where this thing might end up. Now, one thing that I am seeing for the ICP price action here is that there might be somewhat of a bullish Gartley pattern that has formed. So we're just going to go ahead and check for that. So to do that, we're just going to throw up a little X, A, B, C, and what we're looking for is D. So D is going to be somewhere down here by the 161.8 or the 127, which is right about where price action is. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because we're going to take some measurements first. Now, one of the things that I'm looking for is that this price or this candle here, this C point, because this is C, doesn't go any higher than A. And this is A right here. Maybe I'll just go ahead and throw this up so you guys have some visuals. And there we go. And then we can see that this is our Goldilocks zone. And so this means that we need price, this little right shoulder of C, to end up anywhere in this area, but not higher than A. So we have that. So we have our right shoulder confirmed. Now, let's get rid of this extension, and we will throw up a retracement. And the one thing I'm looking for is price to come down past the 61.8 at B, but not go any lower than the 786. And we'll cut it a little bit of a break here because this is just some long wicking that's happening. So I do think that this could quite possibly be some sort of verifiable point that we're looking for. Now, I do think that there could potentially be a bullish Gartley that has formed here. I'm not going to really get into a whole lot more on this, but when I'm looking for the target price, it's going to be this 127. And we can see that price action has really rallied around this 127 quite nicely. But it wouldn't surprise me to see ICP maybe wander down to this 161.8. So I do think that there could have been some bullish Gartley pattern that has formed. The only unfortunate thing is that this bullish Gartley pattern wasn't on some sort of mega long-term, scale, like a month, a month-long pattern or something like that. This was relatively shallow within 7 to 10 days. So I do think for right now, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. There is somewhat of that bull flag that is kind of forming here. So we might be experiencing a little bit more volatility. And let's just go ahead and really try to hammer down a time frame on when this expected volatility could really pick up. So we'll just measure this swing high to this swing low. And time sequence is telling me, okay, in hindsight, it pretty much predicted a little bit of a reversal point here because we can see price came back down. It predicted some increased volatility here, some increased volatility here, and some more increased volatility here. So it wouldn't surprise me if ICP is going to make a run for this 50 moving average, but there is room to fall a little bit more. Next time sequence, I want you guys to open up your phones right now. April 9th, 1 p.m. Central Time. Within a few hours of that, check the charts, see what's going on. If we head off in some sort of drastic, movements, that time frame may be a good point for a reversal or increased volatility. So whatever that is, and it may be nothing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this technical analysis on ICP. Big shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. $3 a month will get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day wherever you are at in the world, and we'll see you guys on the next video.